Hi folks, this is Ela and I'm going to talk about how to draw objects from life by looking at negative shapes, which are the shapes that are surrounding or in between the object that you want to draw or paint here. Like we've got this bamboo and we've got a big triangle in here. We've got a big angle in here. We've got all these interesting shapes going on. So if I want to draw this, it's good to look at those shapes in between rather than focusing on the stick itself. And then the other part is learning how to measure angles, right? I can match up this angle with my pen, and also proportions. So, how long is this side of the triangle versus, say, this top part of the triangle. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do this. So I'm going to start with that big triangle. Here I go. I'm matching up the angle here, and then I'm bringing it to my paper. So I'm making it parallel, and I can make a line that is parallel with that stick. And I can also measure the length. So this is about, let's see, from tip to here, it's about up to that point right here. So I can try and make it close to life size, so it goes from about here to here. And then I can go to the top. This is easier if I did this with a pencil, because then I could erase the line, but I find pencil doesn't show up very well in videos. So here's this angle. It's almost horizontal. So let's see what happens if I make a almost horizontal line here. It's got a little bit of an angle to it, not completely straight, but very close when I'm looking at it in person. So here we go. We've got this angle going on right here. And how long is this? Like I said, this is up to about this point right here. And if I go, let's see, this is a little bit longer. It's about this much. And the remainder is about half that remaining length, right? So it's like almost 1.5, maybe 1 1/3. So I can take this measurement, go up here, see there it's even. So it's going to be a little bit longer, about 1/3 longer. You can about eyeball it. So there's that big, I'm really focusing on this triangle in here and that stick. Whoops. And then I can look, this is going to obviously connect these 2 points. And I can look at that and try and get that triangle in there. I do blind contour drawing and contour drawing, so sometimes it's also helpful just to really look at it and go, okay, we have a slight curve going up and over, right? And it's going to curve a little bit like that. And this stick just keeps going on and on. So I'm going to say I've done a pretty good job here. So I'm going to try drawing a second object, and this time I'm going to do a can opener. So this is a very geometric, not natural object. And this time I'm going to use a light colored background because this is a fairly dark object. So there we go. I'm going to do that same thing as before. I'm measuring angles. There, I'm measuring that upper bit right there with my pen. And I can draw that same line. Right. There's that angle. And I can it's much harder drawing than in real life. I can measure how long this part is. It's about the same length as my cap. Here's that midpoint. See a little bit more of this part because it's facing us, whereas that part is covered up. Here's the part I can see in the front. Okay, and then I have this, I can actually see a little bit of that cool little bit right back there. And now here we go. This is extending out here. This is actually going all the way up. You can't see as much detail as I can. And I can measure, I'm doing this over here, there's that angle. I can bring that down, it's about halfway. So slightly obtuse. And then this angle is almost right. There we go. There's this little half of a semicircle here. And then this is a right angle. This extends down. I can extend, let's see, measure this bit. These are about the same length. And the more you do this, the easier it's going to get. It's going to feel really awkward at first. This is at an angle. And after a while, you just start learning stuff more like that. I'm not worried if I don't get it perfectly the first time. It's a slight oval because we're looking at this in an angle here. Bit of a curve there. There's actually even more of a curve on this side here. That gives me more room over here to capture all that information. This kind of flares out a little bit at the base. This is continuing this same angle. I don't really want to change it if I can help it. Feels like an extension. And I can, how long is this? There's that. It's almost the same as that top part. So there's that top part. Here's that bottom part. I'm pretty close. The more you do this, the more you'll be able to just kind of do it without having to measure quite so much. But there we go. I drew it. This is a complicated shape. And there it is. So as you can see, I have colored in this picture, making sure to save the white areas, having some medium areas, and including some dark shadows as well. I have lots of videos on this YouTube channel for watercolor instruction, but I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you try these exercises on your own.